Hello beautiful people, it's Sinderfam. Welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be checking this video, and it's about a man narrating how his 20-year-old marriage ended. So we're going to be checking this video, and it's from TikTok. Together, let's check it out.
Hey, what's up? My name is Rock. I don't typically do social media and all of that, but everybody keep telling me I need to tell my story. So I'm going to talk about how my 20-year marriage, the perfect 20-year marriage, came to a crashing end, like in one day, like how it just came to an end. And I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys, and everybody with this whole "Who the F Did I Marry" series, and folks that know my story just constantly tell me like, bro, you gotta get your story out there. And I've been hesitant about it, and I don't want to talk badly about anyone or anything like that, but it is just one of those things. And I actually just got off the phone with one of my cousins, and I explained to her my situation, and she was like, I never heard how your marriage came to an end. And so I went through the story with her, and she was like, you need to write a book. Like, you really need to get this story out. So, I've been hesitant, I've been procrastinating, but this is me. This is going to be my series. This is an introduction, but I'm going to get my story out there. Very similar to the young lady who did the Who the F Did I Get Married. I'm going to do it in different parts. I'm going to take you guys back from when we first got married up until, I'm going to take you from when we first got married all the way through that whole process up until the day she left and never came back. And I will tell you, up until that day, our marriage was great. It was wonderful. But on that day, she was gone. And it's crazy. But I'm going to tell you guys everything. And please, I just had this on my neck. I just had surgery, had my thyroid removed. So please forgive me. But I just felt like procrastination and thinking about doing things, I'm like, let me just get it out there and put it out there. So this is me putting it out there for you guys. Like I said, I'm gonna go from the day that we met. Now we got 20 years to get through, but in going through that 20 years, I think it'll help you guys understand how good the marriage was, how perfect the relationship was, and then how crazy it was that we wound up divorced to today where we don't communicate at all. I mean, we were married for 20 years, but we were together like 25 something years, 24, 25 something years.
Before we continue, and before he continues with the introduction, I just wanted to chip in something that sometimes it's not about the length of years or the amount of years or times you and your partner have been together. Sometimes is about what is going on or what is happening in the marriage, and will the marriage or the relationship survive based on what both of you have been experiencing or are going through in the marriage.
So I think it'll help you guys understand that. Hopefully somebody will get something out of this, but everybody keep telling me I need to tell the story. So this is me doing it. So once again, I'm going to start from the very beginning. I'm going to take you guys through, the whole, there's some mental health issues that are involved, and the times when, she was admitted to mental health facilities on multiple occasions, the different places that we've lived, from California to Detroit to Tennessee to Texas, the TV show that we were a part of that really blew up a lot of things. And the crazy part is we actually used to be marriage counselors as well. We actually had a marriage program where we would travel and go and speak to, other couples. We counseled other couples. Folks looked up to us. We mentored other couples. And then who would have thought we would wind up divorced, where like she will not talk to me at all. She don't want me to knock on her door. When she come to pick the kids up, she won't even like come knock on my door. And the crazy part about it, as a black man in the state of Texas, and I'll get into the story when we start part one. This is just an introduction, but I will let you guys know this. As a black man in Texas, I actually got custody of the children, which is crazy. And she paid me, or supposed to pay me, child support. But I'm gonna go through it all. I'm gonna talk about it all. This is crazy for me because this is something that I don't normally do. But this is the world that we live in today. Folks getting their story out, telling their story, and like I say, hopefully somebody gets something from this. So yeah, so part one will be coming up very soon, and I'll just continue to upload, and we'll just go step by step. Now I know the girl who did F that I married did it in like 50 parts. It was only over a couple of years. Mine is over 20 years, but I'm gonna skip a lot. Like, I'm just gonna try to get the meat and potatoes of everything so you can have a good understanding of how we got to where we are today and why it's so mind-boggling to everyone that knows us. How we even got here is crazy. But yeah, trying to think. Oh, so here's the other thing. Like, yeah, let's just get into it. Like, I'm gonna try to keep names out of it and that kind of thing. Like, I'm sure over time, eventually you'll find out who it is and all of that. But and I will say this also in introducing this. My now ex-wife, we're officially divorced. I got nothing but love for her. Like, I really loved that woman for the 25 years that we were together. I really loved her. And I still have love for her today. And listen, and I'm going to bring y'all up. I'm going to take the story and I'm going to bring y'all all the way up to current day, all the stuff that I'm dealing with. But I still have love for that woman. And she does everything in her power to make my life a living hell. But even with all of that, I still have love for her. But how can that change after being with someone for a lifetime? Like 20 years we were together. So but yeah, so that's that. But this is not me trying to, and I mentioned that about me having love for her because I'm just going to be honest, and but this is not me trying to bash her name or make her look like a bad person or make me look like a bad person or make me look like a victim or her look like a victim. That's why I mentioned I still have love for her. This is just me getting a story out there. And obviously people are going to do whatever they want to do with it. But this is just me getting a story out there. But I still have love for her. I don't want it to seem that I'm talking bad about her or bashing her name or anything like that. But I mean, it is what it is. We just got to get it out there and be truthful about it. So, yeah. I appreciate you guys dialing in. If anybody dials in, maybe nobody might even dial in. Who knows? But I don't know. I'm gonna get it out there, and we'll see. So I'll see you on. This is just an intro, but I'll see you on part one. Thanks.
Wow, interesting. And the fact that they both of them were marriage counselors, and I mean, God knows how many people they must have been coaching or counseling to help them in their marriage while they themselves couldn't even help fix their own marriage or fix what was wrong in their own marriage. That goes to tell you that sometimes some people they can try to help but they can't be able to help themselves, just like a doctor cannot be a doctor to himself, if that makes sense. But yeah, we're gonna dive right into the part one because the intro was really lengthy. Let's dive right in.
All right, here we go. Part one: How my seemingly perfect marriage abruptly came to an end. So I met my ex-wife June 5th, 1997, at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was working at the Men's Warehouse. And actually, my father was working at the same store that I was working in. We worked there together. And so when I got to work, she showed up with her father. Her father was looking to buy a suit, I think for a graduation or something like that. So, we, working the sale, doing what we do. And, but I'm looking at her like, man, she kind of nice, so we kind of flirting back and forth. Or at least I'm flirting, you know what I mean? But I think she picking up the vibe, and so, we kicking it. And, I'm showing her what you think about this towel, what you think about this suit, while the dad over there with my father, which is crazy, you know, looking for, whatever suit he wants. So, that all that transpired, dad winds up buying the suit, and then they leave. So when she's leaving, she's in the car in the back seat with her father, and for whatever reason, I think me and a couple of the other guys were standing outside. So when she was driving off, she waved at me like goodbye. And then I'm like, yo, I like came back in like, yo, that chick want me, bro. Like she digging me, doc. Right? And they like, man, that girl ain't thinking about you. But then I realized all the flirting and all of that, and she waving at me when she leaving, I never got her name or her number. So I'm like, yo, like, I forgot to get the info. So then, it's crazy how fate works because, it could have been, it could have been one of those things where she never came back. But the cool thing is, whenever you buy a suit, they had to get the suit altered, like get the pants done, y'all know what I'm saying, had to get alterations done. And you have to write your information down on the alteration ticket. So then I realized the number is on the alteration ticket. So I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So then I actually called the house. Like I dialed the number, and back in those days, I'm showing my age a little bit, but back in those days, folks had house phone with, answering machine. So I called the house, and guess who voice popped up on the answering machine? Hers. Like, oh, you've reached blah, blah, blah. Leave a message. So then I left a message like, oh, the suit will be ready a little earlier than expected. And, I gave the information on when the suit was going to be ready. And it's crazy because that day when I met her, I even remember what she had on. She had like brown braids, the little braids coming down. She had like these brown silky pants on and a brown top. Man, she was ready. And she was like 19 years old, young. I think I was 21 at the time. She was 19. So like, this is like, like crazy, right? So, so then I called, left a message, and then that was that. So then I don't remember if it was a day or a couple of days later, the suit is ready. And it just so happens, and like I said, you never know how fate will work. And there's a couple areas in this story where just fate takes over, if you understand what I'm saying. But it turned out that she came back to pick up the suit. So I'm, like she walks in the door, and immediately I recognize who she is. And I'm like, yo, you came back. Like that was the exact words that I used. I was like, yo, you came back. Like, yo, we need to go out. And in Detroit, during that time, I think it was like, we were living in Detroit at the time. And it's like the Detroit Grand Prix was, I think, that weekend or something. Something was going on that weekend. And I was like, yo, we need to get together. Like, let's go downtown, hang out. Like, for whatever reason, I was excited. And at that time, I didn't usually respond to women that way, but it was just something about her. We just really clicked. So I was like, yo, you came back. Like, we need to get together. Let's go out, da, 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 da. And then, I officially got her name, got her information, number, everything, right? So then now, it's locked in. And, once again, just fate that she happened to show up that day. So then, I think maybe a week or so went by. I wound up calling her, and we went on our first date. We went on a date and had a fantastic time. We went to Greektown in Detroit, for our first date. I took her to like a pizza place. I forget the name of the pizza restaurant. It was like Nikki's Pizza or something like that, like Detroit style pizza. And so we went, had pizza, and then I took her over to the Renaissance Center. It was crazy. Now thinking back, she was only 19, and I took her to the Renaissance Center and we had drinks. I was 21. And man, I guess she was drinking underage, but I never thought about that till just this moment right now. But we went to the Renaissance Center, had a couple drinks, and just had a great time. And I remember, letting her parents know, like, I'm not gonna have her out too late. I'll get her back home, decent time or whatever. And so, I was a man of my word. We had a great date. Had a nice bite to eat, had a little drink, and then, took her back home. We kissed, and, it was a, typical, wonderful first date.
Before he continues with the rainy part of the story, I just want to ask: do any of you have um like an issue with the age difference or the age that was stated? The fact that he was 21 at that time and she was 19 at that time. Does anybody have an issue with the age? Because I mean, I've seen lots of comments, and it seems like some people had an issue with the age difference or the age stated and some didn't. Let me know what you think about the age.
And but literally after that day, like literally after that first date, we were locked in. And she later on shared the story with me, and she actually wrote this in her diary at the time. She was like, "This is the best date I ever been on in my life." Like, just talking about how great I was and how great the date was and all of that. And it was great. But like looking back now, we were so young. We probably hadn't been on a whole lot of dates as it is. It's crazy thinking about it, so long ago. But she was not. How many dates has she been on at 19 years old? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we just really, really clicked. So then from there, we just really started spending all of our time together. Like everything we did, we were just locked in. And then the crazy part, so like I said, we met June 5th, 1997. Every month after June, for that first year that we were together, every month we celebrated 1 month anniversary, 2 month anniversary, like whatever day was the fifth was, like, so we met June 5th and July 5th, we celebrated July 5th, 1 month anniversary. Like August 5th, 2 month anniversary, September 5th, like every month I'm talking about we got gifts for each other. Like we went out like every month on the 5th. We celebrated 1 month or the next month anniversary. So then, obviously once we got to the next June 5th, obviously that was the 1 year anniversary. And then from there, every June 5th, we celebrated, every June 5th, we celebrated, 1 year anniversary. So then fast forward, like I said, we got 20 years to get through. So I got to skip through a lot of this because like, I want to make sure it's good substance because like it's a whole lot of stuff in between there. But just to fast forward, we actually got married in 2000. Guess what? On June 5th, which is crazy. So like 3 years to the date, 97 June 5th, we met. June 5th, 2000, we got married. And then I'll pick up the rest on part two.
Okay, I'm confused. I thought he said they've been together 25 years, been married 20 years. Is there anything we're missing? Okay, let's find out in the other parts of the video. Maybe everything will start to make sense. Or what do you think?
All right, so part three, how my perfect 20-year marriage abruptly came to an end. So, as I mentioned, June 5th, 1997, I met my now ex-wife. Fast forward, June 5th, 2000, we get married. Now, just to rewind to when we originally started really locking in and really getting to a place where we're really committed. And I'll never forget this to this day. She stopped me one day and we were grocery shopping or something like that, hanging out. And she stopped me, looked me in the eyes, and she said, "Are you sure you want to do this with me? Are you sure you want to get involved with me? Because I have a lot of problems. Now, obviously that's a huge red flag, but at the time I didn't think of like I'm just in love with this girl. We having a great time. And so I didn't think what was to come with that statement. I have a lot of problems. But I just responded to her like, look, I'm with you. We together. Like, I'm ready. We already having a great time. I enjoyed her company. We were inseparable at that time. And so, I'm like, let's do it. I'm not worried. Whatever problems you got, I can help you through it. We can see our way through it. So anyway, fast forward, June 5th met, June 5th, 2000, we get married.
Well, this is a perfect example of do not ignore the red flags in the beginning, because I mean, yeah, lots of people, because of love and whatnot, they ignore the red flags. And I bet you, I want to believe that maybe as at that time, he didn't see it as a red flag, or he didn't think it was going to be a problem, whatever the red flag was or is. But I guess we're going to be finding out, or we're going to find out if or what exactly was the issue.
She had just graduated in 2000, same year we got married. She had just graduated from University of Michigan. And I was going to Eastern Michigan University. Tried out for the football team, made the team, but actually never played, but that's a whole nother story. But so she graduated, we get married, and then we're thinking, at the time we were living on campus at University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. So then we're thinking, okay, like, what are we gonna do? Like, cause we love to travel. Like in the couple of years that we were together, we took a couple trips together, and both of us always just love to travel. So we're like, hey, what are we gonna do? Where do we want to go? And so we both decided, and we were looking at different programs that were available, like Peace Corps, AmeriCorps. We were thinking about going somewhere overseas. Like immediately after we got married, once she was done with school, we wanted to take a trip abroad. We wanted to go somewhere. And at the time when she graduated, even though I was older than her, I didn't go to college until later, but I wound up dropping out because she was putting pressure on me like, you need to provide for us. Now, this was before we were married that I dropped out of school. She was like, you need to provide for us. I need money. I don't want to feel like I have to go to my parents, this, that, or the other. So I start working. I got a job, and that was a huge mistake on my part, dropping out of school. But work was picking up and progressing, and I kind of left school in the back burner. So now that we're graduated, she's graduated. Now that we're married, now we're moving abroad, and so we chose California. We found a great program, an AmeriCorps program, which is similar to Peace Corps, except it's just within the United States. It's not abroad. And so we chose California. I loved California. I had visited there once, San Jose. And then so we decided we picked a program in San Jose, California. So we went out there and basically moved everything. Like we just left whatever we had in Michigan and just uprooted and moved to California. Now, this is the first of 3 times that we uprooted and just left everything behind and went to a new, literally a new state, town, whatever. This is the first of 3 times. So we went to California and got into the AmeriCorps program and had a phenomenal time. Probably one of the best times of my life for sure. I would think she would say the same. But God, man, we had such a great time in California. Going to the beach, the weather's perfect every day. We were both obviously involved in our program, helping, underprivileged families. It was phenomenal. We had a great time, a lot of friends, and we had a fantastic time in California. So while we're living there, her sister, and she has 2 other sisters, one of her sisters had moved and met a great gentleman that is in the gospel music industry and moved to Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. Well, just outside of Nashville, a little town called Murfreesboro. So the sister's all excited. She is like, just loves being around her family. So now that she's got this great husband, she's moved to Tennessee. She's trying to get the rest of her family to come. So they invited us to come visit. We go to Tennessee, take a break from our program in California. We fly to Tennessee. Had a phenomenal time with them in Tennessee, and they were just starting a church in Tennessee. And at that time, I was like, yo, they doing some great things in Tennessee, you know. And I'm thinking like, I think it'd be great for us to make a move there. And looking back, you know, there are times and decisions that we've made. And this is the interesting thing about dealing with a particular type of individual that is not somewhat, but that is manipulative. They will make you think every move that you make was your idea. But looking back on it, I feel like some of it she planted in my head, but made it look like it was my idea. So she didn't have to feel like she was like, had any fault in it if anything went wrong. But anyway, we had a conversation. We decided, man, we love what they're doing in Tennessee. You know, it'd be great to be around family. Now, if you ask her, she'll say, oh, I never wanted to be around my family. But that's, once again, we'll get into that whole thing about how she cut her whole family off. She doesn't talk to her sisters anymore. She doesn't talk to her parents anymore. And we'll get into that later. But we decided, okay, we're moving to Tennessee. So we had been in California maybe like a year and a half. And then we uprooted again, left everything behind that we had in California. And now we're hot-tailing it to Tennessee. To go be a part of the church that they're building and everything that they're doing there. This was like maybe December of 2001. We drove from California to Tennessee. We show up. First place we went to was the church. We actually, if I can remember correctly, I believe we got there on a Sunday. Showed up at the church, joined the church that day, and that was the first time I had ever been a part of a church in my life, because I was actually raised in the Nation of Islam. My whole family is Muslim. So this was my first time being a part of a church, but I'm thinking, this is my wife, this is my family. Let's lock in and make it happen. So we joined the church and moved there, started connecting with the family, and shortly after moving there is where we experienced the first time my ex-wife was involuntarily admitted to a mental health facility. But I'll pick that up on the next part.
Wow, I know it's a lot of years, but and I mean 20 whole years is a lot, but I also want to believe that they both finished their program knowing fully well that he dropped out of school. And if he didn't finish his program, then I mean that one is on him, not on anybody. But let me know what you think. We're also going to be checking the other parts of the video. I would really love your thoughts in the comment down below, because I mean this is an interesting one, though regardless of the story. I mean he is trying his best to be a good storyteller. So I mean 20 whole years is a lot. It's not even easy to compile or to even talk about it in a video. But yeah, we're going to be checking the next video or the next part in another video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment down below. I'm sure tons of people have interesting things to share. I really love your thoughts in the comment down below. You can share the useful information you think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.